Shalom, all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Ha'arakah, Kudash, double honors unto the apostles and the elders of great Muslim who rule well, and shalom to the hopeful elect. This Pious Allah of GMS London Camp, come back at you again with news and prophecy and news. I have an article from skynews.com or newsky.com, which is Sky News, alright, and the title reads Coronavirus. Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine found to be 90% effective in quote unquote great day for science and humanity. Alright? So if you didn't know, they're saying they've made great leaps and bounds in the fact that they've found a vaccine, alright, for COVID-19. And not so much they've found a vaccine, but that going through the final stages, that this is one of the most effective vaccines, having a 90% success rate of effectiveness, basically. All right, so I'm gonna delve into the article and harp on any points that are necessary for edification. So I pray you be edified. It says only 94 people contracted COVID-19 out of 43,538 involved in the trial. It says the coronavirus vaccine being developed by Pfizer and BioNTech has been found to be 90% effective in preventing people from getting the virus. So this is a joint venture. Mainly the main name being put at the forefront is Pfizer, but let's not forget that BioNTech is also part of it, a German company, alright, which the Germans are the wise men of Teman, the wise men of Esau Edom, alright, and BioNTech, when you break down those two words, bio means body and tech means technology, alright, so basically that shows you, going by what you're seeing, is that they want to marry the two. They want to bring the body and technology together, alright, and it'll be the way they're looking to do it in accordance with the prophecies of the Bible, alright, is by use of the RFID chip, which is the mark of the beast, okay, which will basically allow a person to utilize technology, alright, through their body, alright, become part of the blockchain and whatnot, alright. So it says Phase 3 of Pfizer's trial involved 43,538 participants from 6 countries. They received 2 doses of either the immunization or placebo, with 90% protected from the virus within 28 days of having their jabs. Only 94 people who took part in the trial developed coronavirus, and no serious safety concerns were reported because the coronavirus ain't deadly anyway, alright? And it's deadly to those that have a weaker immune system, but those that have a substantial level of health, it's more or less like a cold or a flu, right? So it says, and no serious safety concerns were reported. The U.S. pharmaceutical firm said, today is a great day for science and humanity. The first set of results from our Phase 3 COVID-19 vaccine trial provides the initial evidence of our vaccine's ability to prevent COVID-19, said Pfizer Chairman and Chief Executive Dr. Albert Bourla. So it says, with today's news, we are a significant step closer to providing people around the world with a much needed breakthrough to help bring an end to this global health crisis, alright? So this is touching the whole world because it's part of a new world order, alright? A new normal, whereby they're administering the Great Reset, okay, which a lot of people are not talking about because they want to reset the way the world is, the way people experience life in the world, right? By giving them an RFID technology, right? Which is the mark of the beast. It says the news saw stock market surge, with the FTSE 100 jumping by 5.5%, adding 82 billion to the value of its shares and resulting in its best trading day since March. So basically, it shows you that the news of the vaccine is giving hope to everyone in the world because the markets have surged since March, since the news of COVID-19, all right? So that really shows you that as people's optimism's up, and in that being the case, um, yeah, that's it. It says Pfizer and BioNTech's vaccine is one of around 12 worldwide in final stages of testing, but is the first to produce any results. All right. Mind you, let's not forget that Russia came out and said that they had a vaccine that works better than any other vaccine, right? And in saying that, and them saying that they had a vaccine that's better than any other one, they came out and saying they had the first vaccine. What do you think it'd be in the interest of an American company to come out and say they have these level of results, right? Which ultimately will deter any other company from doing so, but also buy them time to really do something, because their results, like, there's no one to actually show these results by hand, right? Savino says the US and German companies say they can supply 50 million doses by the end of 2020 and 1.3 billion by the end of 2021. The UK government has secured around 40 million doses, enough for 20 million people, and could roll out 10 million by the end of the year if they are provided for use in time. Pfizer says it will apply to the US healthcare regulator, the Food and Drug Administration, by the end of this month for emergency approval to use the vaccine. A UK government spokesman said it is optimistic about the breakthrough, but urged people to remember there is no guarantees. All right. So a lot of people getting happy at this news, and you can see by the markets being boosted since the best since March. But the fact of the matter is, this is just preliminary rounds, the final round of that. But nonetheless, it's not actually established that that's the vaccine. When the NHS is ready to roll out the vaccine, people who live and work in care homes will be top priority, followed by the elderly and the clinically vulnerable, they added, right? And they're going to get into the clinically vulnerable. Chief Medical Officer Professor Chris Whitty described it as a reason for optimism for 2021, right? And you can see by the markets, repeating that. But Brendan Wren, a professor of microbial pathogenesis at the London School of Hygiene and Tropical Medicine, suggested it may prove difficult for GPs to store the vaccines as it must be kept at -80 Celsius temperatures. He told Sky News, "You can certainly make a lot of it, but whether you could get it to everybody that needs it is another issue. That's why it's good that there are other vaccines available." All right. So they're saying that this basically ain't out the woods yet. Sky News science correspondent Thomas Moore said the results exceed the expectations of many scientists. Peter Horby, professor of emerging diseases and global health at the University of Oxford, described the development as a watershed moment. He said, "This news made me smile from ear to ear. It is a relief to see such positive results on the vaccine and bodies well for COVID-19 vaccines in general." Michael Head, senior research fellow in global health at the University of Southampton, commented, "This cautiously sounds like an excellent result." Mind you, said cautiously, from the phase 3, but we should remain a little cautious. The study is ongoing, all right? However, if the final results show an effectiveness of anywhere near 90% with response in elderly and ethnic minorities, that's who the people they claim are clinically, what do they say? Clinically vulnerable, all right? The elderly and the ethnic minorities, the ethnic minorities, the elderly, the 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 the, the, the bloody the audacity. So it says Because Jake, for example, hey, Jake are in shape, man. I mean, there's, I'm really pinpointing people I know. I'm coming from a very biased standpoint, but as a whole, you can say that Jake are very unhealthy, right? But when Jake are in shape, it's you know, athleticism's a whole different level. But understandably, they're targeting Jake because Jake ain't in shape, man. Right? So anyway, but there's more to it as I'm gonna show you. So it says, however, the final results. No, I read that. That is an excellent result for a first generation vaccine, which it is. It says William Schaffner, infectious disease expert at Vanderbilt University Medical Center in Nashville, Tennessee. Vanderbilt being one of the elite banking groups, right, or elite um, of the houses of Esau, all right. The efficiency data is very impressive. It's really impressive. This is better than most of us anticipated. I would have been delighted with efficiency at 70 or 75%. 90% is very impressive for any vaccine. The study isn't completed yet, but nonetheless, the data looks very solid. All right. So that's what it's saying. But we know at the end of the day, all roads lead to the chip. All right. This is what this for. You tribes, man. You take this. This is what you call a gateway drug. All right. It's like if you smoke weed and then you take a sniff of lion hair, might pop a pill there, drink some scissor. Next thing you're smoking crack, and you're cracked out walking up and down the roads, and you're on heroin, alright? You're an addict, and you lost all your senses. This is basically the same thing. This is an entry level drug, right, which will open you for the RFID chip. That's the plan, right? And there's a whole agenda in play to do that because they're doing it parallel alongside the, with economics, survival within this world, and that's why people are being conditioned as to you can't buy or sell nothing unless you adhere to the health recommendations that we apply in our shops. So if you want to buy something from our shop, wear a mask. Right, if you want to use the public transport, you got to wear a mask, and that's basically a form of compliance for the people for what's to come down the line. All right, and you know what? I'm gonna read this is first, and I'll possibly get into another scripture. But this is Joel 13:4. But ye are forgers of lies, ye are all physicians of no value. Right, because the Bible never speaks of no vaccine. In history, it's never been spoken of vaccines, right? It's been spoken of cures, right? Treatments or what. Even there is speaks of there is a way to treat something, more or less not even treat. I'm not even say that. There's cures, all right. So if you have a problem, you have an issue with this or that, then you utilize that. But then when you go into the Apocrypha, it basically tells you that a physician would is to be honored, but if wherever he administers you, or whatever diagnosis he gives you, if you don't pray to the Lord, there ain't gonna be no success in the use of what he's giving you, okay? Because the Lord said it very clearly: I heal, I make alive, I kill, or I wound and I kill, all right? It's of the Heavenly Father whether these things will heal or kill you, all right? Will heal. So that's why this only is a physician of no value, because this ain't gonna do you no good. All right. All it's gonna do is lead to one road, which is the RFID chip. And as I mentioned, that everything is about conditioning you. I'm gonna read this. This is what it's conditioning you for. It says, so I'm gonna read. It says, Revelations 13:16. Right, and I'm going to read 16 and 17. And he calls it all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. Right? So yeah, man, you ain't gonna be able to you experience this world, eat, have a place to stay or none of that stuff unless you adhere to the rules